scarce refrigerator. Everybody, every day, save every drop of used fat. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
When a cough due to a cold makes you miserable, try Ayers Pectoral. More than a century of use proves its efficiency. Provides relief almost at once. Warms the throat, soothes tender membranes. Get a bottle. Ayers, A-Y-E-R-S, Pectoral.
Now we present once again Mary Noble, Backstage Wife. The story of a little Iowa girl who marries America's most handsome actor, Larry Noble, matinee idol of a million other women, who has recently been released as an officer in the Coast Guard. Don't gamble with your romance or with that hard-earned office promotion by letting improperly cleaned teeth destroy the charm and beauty of your smile. And don't take chances with unproved ways to clean your teeth when you can buy one way that has been proved and adopted by millions of successful people. Yes, there is one tooth powder so effective it outsells every other brand. One tooth powder that's used by more people than any other, Dr. Lyon's tooth powder. The reason these millions choose Dr. Lyon's year after year must be that they're convinced it does something no other tooth powder does. If they weren't convinced, they wouldn't continue to buy Dr. Lyon's in preference to anything else. So when you see someone with beautifully clean teeth, remember, facts and figures prove that more people use Dr. Lyon's than any other tooth powder. Get Dr. Lyon's and see for yourself why it's America's #1 tooth powder. And now, Backstage Wife, the beloved story of Mary Noble, and the changes which have come into Mary's life since her husband Larry, former Broadway star, went into the Coast Guard. Larry, you know, has been released recently from the Coast Guard and is now living with his family at their home at Rosehaven, Long Island. This morning, as Mary's good friend and companion, Maud Marlowe, makes a phone call from the Noble home.
Is this Mrs. Lansing?
Yes.
This is Maud Marlowe.
Oh, hello, Miss Marlowe. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you.
I wonder if you could have lunch with me this afternoon, Mrs. Lansing.
This afternoon? Why, I'd be delighted.
I'm going to be in New York finishing up my Christmas shopping. Is there any place we could meet, say, about 1?
Anywhere you like.
Well, do you know the New England tea shop?
I think so.
The food's good, and it usually isn't very crowded.
I'll meet you there at 1.
Oh, Maud.
Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Lansing. What is it, Mary?
May I speak to Virginia for a moment, please?
Oh, of course, dear. Just a second, Mrs. Lansing. Mary wants to talk to you. I'll see you later.
Yes, and thanks for calling.
Here you are, Mary.
Thanks. Virginia?
How are you, Mary?
Very well, thanks. How is Irene?
Oh, she's a great deal better.
I know she wasn't feeling too well.
Well, it wasn't anything serious.
Oh, is she at home now?
No, she's gone out.
Oh. Well, will you tell her I called?
Of course I will.
And it might be nice if she got in touch with me in the near future.
I'll remind her of it. I hope we'll see each other very soon, too. Oh, tell Larry I expect to get in touch with him this week to discuss further plans for our repertory theater.
I will, Virginia.
Goodbye, Mary.
Goodbye.
Well, we made a date for 1 o'clock, Mary. Well, I felt I wanted to return her kindness in giving me a ticket to see her play.
You're certainly going out of your way to get acquainted with Virginia Lansing.
I told you I would, and I intend to go through with it. How's her sister Irene, Mary?
Oh, she seems to be all right. Maud, I asked Virginia to have Irene call me, but I don't think she will. Irene's been avoiding me for over a week now, and I don't know why.
Maybe I can find out from Mrs. Lansing.
I doubt if Virginia knows the reason either.
Well, maybe I can find out when I go into New York this afternoon. Uh-oh, that must be Tom Bryson. He said he was coming out to leave some Christmas packages here. And so he'll drive me back to New York.
Maybe Tom would like some breakfast.
Oh, I've never seen him refuse to feed his face.
Well, greetings.
Wipe your feet on the mat.
You better get out of my way.
Oh,
I'm balancing these packages.
All over
There,
the
you
place.
see what I mean?
Oh, my.
Hello, Mary.
Having trouble, Tom?
Well, Santa Claus seems to do it
I'll
better.
What on
say.
earth did you do? Buy a half interest in a department store?
Yeah.
Now,
I
listen,
bet.
Maud, none of this stuff is to be open until Christmas, and that means you.
What's in this one?
Just put that down, Miss Marlowe.
Oh, here, let me help with those packages.
Well, this big one's for Larry Jr., Mary. You'd better hide it before he gets home from school.
I'll put them all in the cellar, Tom, with the other things. And they won't be opened until the 25th.
Good.
Tom, do you want some breakfast, as if I have to ask?
Just had mine. I've got to get right back to New York.
I'm ready to leave, Tom. Now, you wait till I get my thing.
Where's Larry?
He's still asleep, Tom.
What, at this hour? Who does he think he is, Rip Van Winkle?
He was up very late last night working over plans for the repertory company.
Oh, he's good and enthusiastic about it, huh?
Yes, and it's wonderful to see, Tom.
Give him plenty of encouragement, Mary. He can use it.
I know, and I'm doing all I can. But Larry doesn't need encouragement anymore. He's beginning to find himself again with this thing, Tom, and it's made me very happy.
Well, Tom, I'm ready if you are.
Well, let's go.
Oh, Tom, you'll be over soon for dinner, won't you?
Well, just as soon as I'm invited.
Since when are you so coy about invitations? You usually invite yourself.
In that case, I'll be around tonight.
Fine, Tom. I don't have a Monday performance, so I'll be here.
And you can drive me back here today.
Well, that's a bargain. See you later, Mary.
All right, Tom.
Oh, the coffee's fresh if Larry gets up soon, Mary.
Well, thanks, Maud. Bye.
Bye, dear.
Well, I guess I better straighten up here.
Mary.
Oh, good morning, darling.
Good morning. Who was that just left? Tom?
Yes?
Oh, I wanted to talk to him about something.
He'll be back tonight. He's coming for dinner.
Oh, good.
Ready for breakfast?
Cup of coffee's all I want, Mary.
It's waiting for you. I'll get it.
I can have it in the kitchen.
You, got to bed awfully late last night.
Did you hear me when I turned in?
No, and I wasn't asleep until after 1.
Had a lot of work to do, Mary. But I made good progress.
Tell me about it, darling.
Well, first of all, I've decided to leave Shakespeare alone for a while. The production costs are too high. And I want to spend as little of Virginia's money as I can before we start to make a decent profit. Hey, what's all this?
Christmas presents Tom brought.
Oh.
Oh, go on with what you're saying.
Well, I've lined up some competent people who may be willing to work with us. I'll have to start contacting them in a few days. I want Virginia to be with me when I talk business, of course. And she'll be leaving Hooker's show sometime this week.
I see.
Oh, I meant to tell you something, Mary.
About Virginia?
Yes, and Irene. Now, don't take offense, please. I'm sure Virginia has only the best intentions.
About what?
She suggested that you see less of Irene.
She did? Why?
I don't think Irene's very well, Mary.
But she's better now. Virginia told me only a few minutes ago on the phone.
Was she called here?
Maud called her. They're having lunch together.
Well, at any rate, Virginia asked this as a special favor. She seems to feel that Irene became rather difficult and excited when... Mary,
Oh, yes, Larry?
you don't seem to be listening.
I'm sorry, darling. I was listening. I just thought of something. Larry, Virginia assured me that Irene was perfectly well.
Physically.
What do you mean, physically?
She didn't come out with it baldly, but I could read between the lines.
Come out with what, Larry?
Virginia seems to feel that it may be Irene's mind.
No.
That... Oh, it isn't anything serious, I'm sure. Maybe merely a nervous condition.
Larry, no matter what Virginia says, I won't believe that Irene is mentally ill.
But you will do as she asks.
I have no choice, Larry. As far as not seeing Irene is concerned, Irene seems to have made that decision already. restaurant is very nice, Miss Marlowe.
Yes. Mary and I have dined here often. Well, how's the play coming along, Mrs. Lansing?
Oh, it's doing very well. I'm leaving it in a few days to spend more time with Larry.
With Larry?
On our repertory plans.
Oh.
What did you think?
Nothing.
You sounded so startled.
Well, how is Irene, Mrs. Lansing?
Oh, she's gotten over one phase of her illness.
Well, I didn't know she was ill until Mary mentioned something about it.
Miss Marlowe,
Yes?
do you happen to know of a good psychiatrist?
Why, well, offhand, no.
Well, I'll wait a while. Perhaps this is only a passing mood.
What are you referring to?
My sister and her strange behavior. She seems to be, well, becoming more and more difficult as time goes on.
I think she's just unhappy.
But she has nothing to be unhappy about. I give her everything her heart desires. I've certainly sacrificed myself in more ways than one to please her.
I don't really think she's in need of a doctor, Mrs. Lansing.
You don't know what I've been through.
Irene seems to be a level-headed girl. Hasn't she told you why she's unhappy?
No.
Well, you might let Mary talk to her.
Oh, that's the last thing I'd advise.
Why?
Mary's sympathy is wonderful, and Mary's a darling for trying to help. But it's made Irene very sorry for herself. And some of the things she's come out with have actually frightened me.
Frightened you? How?
Oh, let's not talk about it now. It makes me rather unhappy myself when I think of what's happened and what may happen in the future.
Mrs. Lansing, I don't like to disagree with you in this, but I've talked to your sister many times, and I'm of the opinion that she's perfectly normal. If you're worried about her and you feel that Mary's presence isn't good, suppose you let me have a talk with her.
Do you really want to?
If you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. In fact, I'll arrange for that meeting now, this afternoon.
Virginia seems to have something up her sleeve again. We wonder if Maud will be able to discover anything unusual in her forthcoming meeting with Irene. Remember to listen again tomorrow to another important episode of Backstage Wife, the story of Mary Noble and her husband Larry Noble, famous Broadway star, recently released as an officer in the Coast Guard. If you despair of having a smile that compels admiration, remember this. Millions of men and women have tried, tested, and approved one particular way to beautifully clean teeth. Why not follow their lead? Start today with the one tooth powder that is used by more people than any other, Dr. Lyon's tooth powder. Yes, year in and year out, figures prove that Dr. Lyon's tooth powder leads all others in popularity, almost to the point of becoming a national habit from coast to coast. This fact is tremendously important to every man or woman who has despaired of having attractive, beautifully clean teeth. For Dr. Lyon's tooth powder could not be used by more people than any other unless they were convinced by experience that Dr. Lyon's does something no other tooth powder does. Try it yourself. Then let your mirror tell you the success story. The reason why Dr. Lyon's is, by all odds, America's #1 tooth powder. Mary Noble, Backstage Wife, will be on the air again tomorrow at this same time. Ward Bond, speaking for the makers of Dr. Lyon's tooth powder.